Hello my friends, and welcome back to another watercolor tutorial. I am just taking this opportunity to talk to you guys while I tape the borders of my piece of paper. It has been 8 months since I filmed a tutorial. So yes, we are finally in real time again. I am painting this in, I think it's mid-March, and it will be released the first week of April. So, shoot, that's not long enough. My toddler has taken the liberty to peel most of my tape out of the, whatever this is called, the holder. So I'm running out of tape here, but anyways, we are taping the borders of our piece of paper because we want a nice clean and crisp border. We'll be painting this like green field landscape reminiscent of Scotland. Perhaps that's the landscape I have in mind. But just picking out my brush here. I'll start with my size 14. And just bear with me guys, because I really haven't done this in 8 months, so I'm really out of practice. I'm taking blue. And yeah, I've just got a lot of things that I'm working on here. Not working on, but working against. Because I have a new setup. And perhaps I can show you guys somehow how I mix my colors. Oops. Can you see that? I don't know if you can see that. It's really hard to see. It's gonna take a few videos to sort of figure out the trial and error of the setup. Everything is different. The lighting, the height of this desk, my chair, did I say the lighting? Sorry. On top of that, I'm sick. So, not complaining, just, it has taken me, gosh, a very long time to find the motivation to sit down and start painting. So you really get out of practice after, 8 months. But more on that later. I have taken, it's a very washed out blue, or very watered down blue, that's what I wanted to say. And this is gonna be the sky. So I've just painted probably like a third or like almost halfway down the sky here. I'm gonna go actually a little bit lower than that to make it truly halfway. And I'm just angling it, making it concave slightly, because we don't want, our horizon to be completely straight and even. Okay, and while that is still wet, so I've had in some videos people ask like, oh, did you wet your piece of paper first? If it's in the video, then I wet it. If you don't hear me say that, then I didn't wet it. But I just, because I pre-paint oftentimes my videos, I don't remember what I did in a video. So just watch it in full, and all the instructions you need will be there. So I'm just taking blue and dropping it onto sort of the top portion of this. I don't know what I'm trying to mimic clouds, but I've never been very good at clouds. They've always been a little bit of my nemesis. But I am going to, oh, see, I know what I forgot. I forgot a paper towel. Which is not great mid-painting. don't like that. I tried to drop in some white on the bottom here, but that didn't really go as I thought it was going to go. I'm gonna take like a navy blue, I don't know if it's a navy blue, a darker blue, and just kind of drop that into that darker portion that we just painted, just to give it a little bit more depth, volume. Okay. I know that when this dries, it's going to be much less distinct. Like the colors are all sort of going to blend together, so I'm trying my best to make sure that there's a little bit of variety there. Okay, so while that's drying, I am going to run and get myself a paper towel. Okay, I'm back with a paper towel. Oh my gosh, I don't have my hair dryer here either. I am really out of practice, and I really don't want to go get it because it's on the other side of the house. So we are gonna try and make do without it this time around. I never thought I would say this, but I miss my old bathroom painting situation. And maybe it's just because I was used to it, and I had a good flow going there, even though it was our tiny bathroom. But everything just went so much smoother. Everything was in one spot. Like if I needed more water, my kitchen sink was just an arm reach away. The lighting was perfect because it was just mounted to the wall and it was a perfect lighting. And I know it's probably just going to take a little bit of time to get used to things here, but I'm not a big fan of change. So I've taken a yellow here, and we're going to be dropping the yellow in, I don't want to use the word random places on this painting, but the yellow is supposed to be, I suppose, where the rays of the sun are coming through the clouds. So it doesn't have to be exactly how I'm doing it here. You could just use, do whatever you want. But that's where I'm going to place the rays for now. And then I'm going to pick up some green and just fill in the rest of the spaces with the green, of course. And I've left a little white gap there. If you have a hairdryer or your painting is completely dry, then I would skip that and not leave that white space. But I just simply do not have the patience to wait for it to dry, and I am too lazy to go get my hairdryer. But I will have it for the next tutorial. What a mess. I was like, I'm gonna enter this new era of tutorials with a positive demeanor, and yeah, I just think it's a little bit funny. The things not going as smoothly as I wanted them to go. So when we blended that green into the yellow, you can see, I hope you can see, let me see if you can see. Yes, it's still on the screen. It's sort of blended together, and we don't want it to be this like tie-dye effect. I do want distinct yellow and distinct green spots, and they're gonna be sort of square shaped too, because I want it to look like a you know when you're in an airplane and you look down, you see like the little grids, the little squares of the fields that are kind of cut into these perfect shapes. That's what I was hoping to go for, but perhaps I have to take a different approach and paint little trees on to mark the different sections. We'll see what it looks like, but for now, I'm gonna make this bottom portion a tad bit darker. I need to just take whatever green is on my palette here. Whoops. And paint on some shrubs and tree shadows poking out. See, what I haven't been able to figure out, and some of you for some reason really like this and want to achieve it but don't know how, and I really don't know what to tell you, but my paper does this like stringy thing when I do wet on wet, where it like kind of strings out like these spidery legs, and you can see it here with the clouds, they've dried that way. I really don't like that effect, and I don't know how to to prevent that from happening. I don't want my tree shrubs to look like spiders are reaching out, but if anyone has any tips or can explain to me why that is happening in so many of my paintings, then please, like, I'm all ears. I'm gonna take a little bit of black and add that to my shrubs because I want them to be a little bit darker, and the black will just naturally mix in with the green that's already on the paper, or at least I hope it will. We will see. Okay. So far this isn't looking like very much, but we are just going to wait for this to completely dry and then we'll move on to the next part. Okay, so we are back. I went and got my hair dryer because this was going to take way too long if I didn't. I forgot that my hair dryer actually got damaged in the process of building our house. So it's not working very well either. Just add that onto the list of things that didn't go right in this tutorial. But let's stay focused here, shall we? So I'm taking green again. I've changed brushes. I'm using size 3. I don't know if that's like a universal size or whatever, but it's size 3 by Grabby. And I've taken like a black and mixed it with a forest green color. That's not the official name. I don't know the official names of my colors. Just black mixed with green. Any green will do. And then we're gonna try to basically, oh my gosh, I don't really know what I'm doing here. You know what I should have done? While this was still wet, I should have very lightly, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Sketched in shadow lines to give me kind of a grid on which to paint my trees, but I didn't do that, so I'll just start with the bottom here and define the trees that I tried to paint earlier, and they kind of turned into blobs. So these are supposed to be like those tall Italian trees. Tall, creepy Italian trees. If you know the movie reference of that, then please post it below. It's one of my favorite movies. That was a last minute decision. I don't know if I'm gonna continue with that strategy, but I'm sorry guys if this tutorial is all over the place. I promise I will get my mojo back. It's just been so long. 8 months, like I said. So in case, I don't know if I even said it, but the big thing that happened the last 8 months, or no, it took less time than that, was we demoed our old home and we built a new home on top of it. It was very necessary for many reasons. Yeah, I don't really want to get into all the reasons, but there were just so many problems with that old house. I loved that house, but in the end, it wasn't going to work. So we demoed it because we loved the property that it was on. If you're like a long-term viewer of mine, then you know that we live in a forest, and it's like the house is surrounded by 50-foot pine trees, and it's just a place that I love living. And we looked at a few properties. We considered just moving, but there was just really nothing like it. And so we made the decision to just demo and rebuild. And so that's what happened. And so now I'm sitting in my brand new home and it's bigger than our old house. Our old house was only 800 square feet, so it was pretty small, but now I don't have to paint in my bathroom anymore. I paint in the shared office that I share with my husband. But yeah, the lighting for me has been the biggest struggle in this new setup. I have ordered 2 different types of ring lights, and they're just not bright enough. And then I ended up just taking a standing lamp and buying a very high lumen bulb, and then using that along with a ring light. That's what I'm using now, and it's still not nearly what my what the lighting was at the other house. The other house, like in that bathroom, because the bathroom was small and white, and it had 4 very bright white bulbs, it just was the perfect environment, and I can't seem to replicate it. So I might have to just make do with this. Let me know what you guys think about this lighting. Is it worse than you are used to in my videos, or like did you even notice? Let me know, because that will help me in making a decision. Anyway, here I've done the shadows, the silhouettes of the trees. Now I'm going to really try my hardest here to create these like grid lines that I was talking about. So I don't have a big plan here. So I've painted one line, very thin, rough line, kind of at an angle. Then a line joining that one that's more horizontal. And then I'm gonna go back down at an angle, sort of creating a trapezoid-like shape. And then I'll have maybe another one parallel next to it. Just keep in mind, you are trying to create little, like a little grid. And the further you get to the horizon, or sorry, the closer you get to the horizon, the smaller your little patches are going to appear. So just keep that in mind. And you can make them a little more rough looking. Okay. So that's not too bad. I was expecting worse, so I'm pretty happy with that. I wish that the yellow and the green was more distinct when we painted at the beginning. So what I'm gonna do, so that I don't have to rinse out my paintbrush, I've just taken a different paintbrush with some yellow, and I'm going to add it. Now keep in mind that this is dry, right? So when we add the yellow, it should, in theory, be much brighter, which it appears to be. I don't know if it'll dry to be that nice and bright, but for now it's looking not so bad. And that just makes certain sections of this painting pop a little bit, and it also makes it look like there's, I don't know, rays of sunshine hitting certain parts of the ground and not others. But it's totally up to you whether you even want to do what I'm doing right now. That's just what I wanted to try, because that's the look I was going for. It's just nice to add a little bit of variety. Okay, so back to I've added quite a bit more black to my green. I don't know if you're able to see that or not, because I have like the little holder for my filming phone is blocking my screen. Like, man, Julia, do you know what you're doing? No, the answer is no, I don't. And I'm gonna start with the lines that are closest to the horizon, so they're going to be the smallest to the viewer. And I'm just gonna basically add these little dots that are supposed to be trees. And you can just space them however you'd like. And the closer that you get to the bottom here, the bigger you want to make them. Not like crazy big, because you're still technically viewing this from afar, but they will be slightly, ever so slightly bigger than the little guys up here. Ooh, you know, I should add some shadows to some of these. And they don't all have to like be on the lines that we painted. You can just have random trees and random spots, whatever works for you. Give me all the critique in this video, guys. Not in relation to the painting itself, because I think it's actually not looking too bad, but rather all of the details pertaining to the video, the lighting, the like are shadows in the way? Is the shadow of my head in the way? Are the paints in the right location for your ease of following along? I'm just trying to make all this work in a new setup, and it would help if I had your feedback. Because if you say, hey, the lighting is actually perfect, I don't notice a change, it doesn't bother me, you will save me a lot of stress. Whereas if you say, no, the lighting actually is not great, then that's unfortunate, but at least I'll know that I have to continue my quest to figure out the lighting situation. I do want to make this section here more like heavily treed. So as I was saying, I've been procrastinating quite a bit filming because I had enough content uploaded to last until the end of March, like pre-filmed, uploaded, ready content. And it is now mid-March and I'm going away the beginning of April, where again I won't have the availability to paint, and so I need to paint now so I can pre-paint like the next 4 videos into April. Okay, I think this is one of those situations where I need to leave and then come back and look at this again, to look at it with kind of a set of fresh eyes, because I'm not really sure if this is missing anything or if I need to add something. Right now I just went in with black. I'm just adding little black specks to some of the details to give it a bit more depth. I think the last thing I might do is just throw a few speckles on this painting. Make it look like there's birds in the sky or something like that. I'm not going to attempt to paint any birds in the sky because I don't want to overdo it. But I think we'll just leave it at that. It's a nice, simple painting, kind of reintroducing me into painting again. I'm going to peel that tape off to reveal, well, what are supposed to be clean borders, but something went wrong up top here. But yeah, this didn't turn out too bad. So let me know what you guys thought of this one. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and I will be sure to see you in the next tutorial.